And the purpose of this meeting is we have folks that said that they weren't heard. So we're going to give folks an opportunity tonight to be heard. So is there someone from the community that wishes to speak and tell us what your solutions may be or where you want to see things a little differently? Is anybody here?
Hi there. So good afternoon or good evening. My name is Jacqueline Lasan. I am a part of a coalition, Save the 16th. I'm a community participator from the 4th District. I appreciate you all making time for us. I'd like to have seen everybody, but I'm sure you have your reasons. So I wanted to first start out by saying, on August 28, 1963, an interracial assembly of more than 200,000 marched on Washington for jobs and freedom. Their focus was to protest racial discrimination. This act of civil disobedience resulted in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, considered one of the most important laws since Reconstruction. 58 years later, on the week of August 28th, which is that starting day, we in the African American communities are showing up on redistricting maps. This is also known as gerrymandering, when the boundaries of a district are manipulated to favor one party or a class. In fact, the Brennan Center for Justice stated in an article dated August 10th that gerrymandering is deeply undemocratic. In response to a proposal placed on the voting ballot that was passed unanimously, this redistricting committee was formed based on people from different districts in this community. We had public meetings, and the whole intent was to listen intently to the community and their input regarding what they sought as their common interest. A consultant was hired from the Benjamin Center, SUNY New Paltz, Jeff Weiss. Never have I seen him in person until after this map was done, and it was supposedly this finalized draft proposal. I had many concerns and voiced them regarding the hiring of someone who was not local and was not familiar with the footprint of Syracuse. Yet, as it's often done, the money would be paid from Syracuse funds, yet these dollars would never be respent in the city of Syracuse. Since it was determined later by a commission vote, the consultant did not need to come here at all. The Zoom calls were sufficient. And this was the consulting team that was statistically responsible for redrawing a map based on consensus data with no personal knowledge of these communities. Many times at our meetings, for the public, let me back up. First of all, if those of you who don't know, I was on that redistricting committee. I was intentional. I was proud to be on it. I thought we were making a difference. And sadly, everybody's not going to get what they want, but it can't continue to fall down on the marginalized, or somehow you're undervaluing and underestimating us. So many times of our meetings, more than half the time, I wanted clarification on maps. Every time I saw these maps in public, there was something that even the community asked for clarification, for an explanation. We actually went into sessions where someone from the commission was always opening it up, being defensive almost when they would answer questions about a map that nobody could seem to understand. I've been living here going on 7 years. I couldn't figure out what my street was. Then at one point, the streets, it didn't become districts anymore. It was A, B, C, D. That was asked about at August 9th meeting, which I wasn't at because my mother passed and we're doing her last will and all of that. But the reality is I saw it, and I was disgusted at some of those answers because they were patently not true. We did not come to any consensus about minority majority. In fact, that statement of minority majority, I wrote direct to Jeff Weiss, which I have in these files, and he answered and said it shouldn't make much of a difference, and he's given all his statistics of something in Austin, Texas, you know, all kinds of things that this could be good for us, and we're the representative, we should be proud of ourselves. That being said, that went on, then the ABCD map thing, again, confusion. I saw it, I went to Mr. Nader myself, and he, without any hesitation, said, I asked them not to do that. I don't know why they presented that to the council, or, sorry, to the public like that, because it adds more to the confusion. Our job is to have people lean in, to get questions, to listen, listening sessions. As more of these people, and I consider myself a person as well in terms of community, sometimes when you come from obscurity, in my opinion, to suddenly you're in the press, never have you talked to the press before, and now you get to talk, you look like you're unified, but yet you're not, but you're saying things, you're doing things, and then suddenly it became more combative. I have in this folder emails, because I'm on that group email, text about, you know, how people not showing up, how Common Council has their own agenda, you know, because the more they seem that people are now pushing back and want questions about it, now comes out the doubts as to the fact we did our job, because I think, once again, the magical dust of media. People are full of themselves. They've been told they've done a good job. It's okay to go back and have a conversation about it and even decide some things are good or bad, and maybe we could change it. I live in the 4th District. I don't have 10 years. What these people continue to say, the people on my committee, now, some of them are from the South Side, oh, if you don't like it in 10 years. We don't have 10 minutes. We don't know when our time is. And that's very insulting in the wake of I-81 and all these other things that we consistently fight against. So in addition to run a full-fledged food pantry and dealing with budgets and all these other things, I take time out and I come down to things because it's important. I see the devastation that can happen. There were specifics.
So Jackie, just let me ask
Yes,
you a
ma'am.
question. What would you change?
Toomey Abbott, Carriage House were in the district, but somehow, because the consultant, because once again, he's never been here other than Little Italy many years ago, he said it was inadvertently left out. He even agreed that, yes, we could put it back in. St. Vincent Apartments is more like a transitory kind of thing, which again, that's under Skyline, those people that own Skyline. Problematic place. I deliver food over there. I have met with the mayor about the place because it's one of the blights in the city of Syracuse. Rats running up my legs. I mean, things that are deplorable conditions, yet these people are trying to get some secure place to stay. A lot of this is not background checked because they're coming out of drug rehabs and police, probation. And so when you need a background for getting an apartment, this was someplace they kind of have an understanding they can go in there and do their time and get off probation. Those kind of things go on. When I asked several people, because I've knocked those doors for voting rights, voting registration, would you mind voting? Would you like to register? They would let me know. I have food issues. I got places I need to stay. Look at this place, which again, I went to the mayor and saw it.
That part right there,
Oh, sorry. Okay, so let me wrap it up by just saying this. Yes, I have concerns. I was in the room. I'm not hearing it by anybody's ears. I was there. And so I asked that what I asked from you all is send this map back. While I understand it's expedient to send it off because you now have your seats of all the district people, send the map back and we should do a better job. They're going to come up with arguments why they're not, because I'm not assuming, it's in emails, and I'm really deeply disturbed by that. I want to say that my job was good. For 20 plus years, I served in the New York City Police Department, and I won't tell you that I did it all right, but I never got civilian complaints for doing the wrong thing, because it's too easy to do the right thing.
So help me understand
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
right? Because I think tonight, we're here, again, like I said, to listen to you.
Sure.
But what I need to find out, and what we need to find out is exactly, okay, you said Toomey Abbott, you said Carriage House.
They're large voting blocks for us in our
So
district.
those are the three areas that you have an issue with.
Right, to trade out them, and we went all the way down to Green Hills, Nedrow. You know, hopefully one of my other neighborhood persons will say something about that, because Green Hills, we don't have a supermarket. Don't act like Green Hills is part of the South Side, it's not. And so that was brought in because of, once again, the numbers game. We're so much more than numbers, and so I don't want us to get caught up with just the numbers and not have proper representation, because people don't really need to listen to us. The voting is low, and all those other things that continue to come out when Black and brown communities are involved in this. So I do have other copies of this if you want it. I just did some typos because I was running out the door, but I will certainly make it available to you all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the community?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council. Thank you, first of all, Madam President, for putting this together in the first place. And to you, my concerns is, and it irritated me, matter of fact, yesterday we had a meeting, and one of the persons asked, where is the line at going south or the north on as far as this mapping go? Nobody knew the answer. I didn't even know the answer. And I'm a community activist over 50-something years. And I normally knew that, you know, the 4th district was the end going south. It was out on the right, on the left side of Madison, but that's no longer with the way these lines are drawn up. Also, it disturbs me that our voting blocks, our voting issues like Toomey Abbott, Brighton Towers, you know, where they were taken out, and the people up on Toomey Abbott, they have to walk all the way up on Westcott Street to vote now, when they used to vote right there in the building where they reside at. So those things are still very disturbing to me on that aspect. And I'm still confused with the lineage of the mapping. You know, and I need to get some questions. I need to realize where it's at and stuff. Because I in my community, I do voter education on a 24-hour round. Every day I'm inviting young people and elders to get involved in the voting participation. Also, as you know, I come to these council meetings and I deliver stuff back to my community, and I try to educate them on things that are going on. So I just think that on the remapping, I think you guys should you know, look at that and look at what the neighborhood is looking at, because I still get people come to me and want to know, explain more about the mapping, and I don't have all those answers. And, you know, and I've been engaged, I've been there I only missed one meeting. So I understand a lot of things, and me and Mr. Jackson, we talked on a lot of issues and stuff, but he's way out there in 690 somewhere. So I really don't understand his language at this particular time.
So your concern, Mr. is Toomey Abbott and learning where the lines cross over.
Correct. I'm very interested in where the lines cross, where the lines are at on these mappings and stuff. I'm confused with those. Good, thank you.
This is what was given to us. This was the last final meeting. I will give it to you and you can pass it. You tell me, other than location, what is this meeting that people are being invited to? Because they were very meticulous. All of the other meetings that I, my own self, did expenses out of my pocket, I haven't got to reimbursed, to go ahead and blow it up, make sure people got flyers. That just says meeting. Doesn't talk about your redistricting, has a line with a pencil drawer. And then when I text about it, oh, don't worry, look at it, the glass is half full. So that's totally inappropriate when that's a final draft map. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My turn?
Your turn. We're looking for what your solutions are and what you would like to see changed.
We're talking about the map, right? Okay. You know, there's not many times in life you get to make a decision that actually is recorded and becomes something great. This is one of those times. This will be the first time east of the Mississippi that the citizens have been empowered as a truly independent commission. My name is John Meyer. I have a small group, Washington Square Task Force, and we've watched the progress, and we got elated, like a lot of people, when we saw that the North Side would be put back together, that after 50 years, we would no longer have to try to convince somebody from Tip Hill what the North Side today was like. North Side today is a multicultural experience. We have hundreds of nationalities there. We have people moving from the South Side all the time. But one thing we share in common is that we are all in this area. When I heard in June that the council might table this, let it go another 2 years and let some people hang on to their political power, I was upset in June. Now that I think it might be killed, I haven't been this outraged since 1968, the Vietnam War. You have a chance to do something. Some people will get hurt, you might personally get hurt, but it's a great thing. Better you do something for a cause. I mean, who's going to remember who was on this council 20 years from now, 10 years from now? Nobody. I mean, we all think we're important, but Syracuse just isn't that big an area. But we could be very important, and we could lead the way. If you don't allow people to stay together in their neighborhood, then you take away their political power. And the reason I'm going to say that, this one's going to hurt, but I've only seen Tim Rudd in the last 9 years. It's over, where's it over there? Thanks, Norm. I've only seen Tim Rudd at one neighborhood meeting as far as a counselor, at large. Counselors at large tend to go where they're comfortable. So I never saw him on the north side.
You do know that he's not a counselor any longer, correct? You do know that he's not a counselor.
He's not now.
Right.
When he was a counselor over in another area, he came to a meeting on the north side. That's the only person I saw. I've never seen somebody who's a counselor at large and represents the whole city come to a neighborhood meeting on the north side in 9 years. So it's hard for me to believe anybody but my own counselor would have an interest in the neighborhood I live in. Don't do this. Do the right thing. Take this moment of courage. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna put it on another call. Anyone else? This is your opportunity. One more time. Anyone else? With that, I'm going to close this meeting. Thank you.